Right, and we are back once again, and we will bring you the final top 8 set. Kenny and John having been played off stream due to Kenny's rather tight personal schedule. So we bring you a set between fan favorite, well, international fan favorite Fan Yangze up against our friend from Malaysia, Guan Aqil.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen Yangze on stream a few times already yesterday,
Twice,
and
yes.
Definitely a strong showing, playing very optimally throughout the day. But Aqil as well, definitely a no slouch of a player. Maybe a few rocky performances throughout the season so far, but definitely a strong showing here.
Yeah, Aqil has taken some time to find his footing in the VGC16 format. He was pretty strong in 15 last year in Malaysia in particular. He's a regular presence in top card. He's knocked me out of multiple Malaysia regional tournaments thus far, which still stings. But it's taken him a while, but I believe just very recently in Malaysian regionals, Aqil did cut, and he's made a cut here today as well.
Exactly, and you know, with the metagame changes in the current format, sometimes the metagame shifts to just a nice niche where your playstyle starts to begin to shine. And if that's the case, you know, Yangze is going to have to be very careful about walking into some of Aqil's more interesting sets.
But at the same time, as you've seen from Yangze's team, I don't think he's as much of a threat to walk into some of Aqil's things, as Aqil is probably going to have to adjust to what Yangze has up in store. We've seen that Yangze just executes his game plan to perfection.
And definitely the red card Ditto being a, well, now we can probably just say it because I'm very sure Aqil has done his homework and watched it on stream. Very, very difficult to play around. Like, even if you know it's there, it's so difficult to play around. As we see Yangze's team on the screen once again. Groudon, Salamence, Clefairy, Xerneas, Kangaskhan, Ditto, basically Big Six, but with that Ditto as tech.
As Clefairy as well with the friend guard. Aqil will be bringing his own Groudon Xerneas team with Salamence, Thundurus, Smeargle, and Cresselia. So a pretty evenly balanced mirror match here. Aqil does have the Smeargle though.
Aqil has the Smeargle and he also has the Cresselia to possibly get a Trick Rooms against Yangze's team, which Yangze will be trying very hard to deny, but he also does have that Clefairy to help out if his Trick Room does go up.
It's a very, very strong option under Trick Room, though we haven't really seen what Yangze has under Trick Room with his Clefairy, as Thundurus and Salamence will hit the field for Aqil.
And Groudon Salamence here for Yangze. Groudon here never really wanting to face off against opposing Salamence, but does have a good time against the opposing Thundurus.
Yes, Aqil's team not being having any Kyogre of his own, so Groudon not having any hidden power water to fear in this set. Intimidates go off, evenly balanced. You're going to assume Salamence is max speed, so not going to be any indication of that, as Groudon will Primal Revert.
So it's an interesting position here for Yangze because at the same time as Groudon doesn't want to be taking free damage from the Salamence, especially if he is running the special variant with Eruption. Whereas Salamence here will not appreciate eating a Thunder Wave from the opposing Thundurus as well. But at the same time, Yangze cannot afford to play too defensively for fear of giving Aqil too much momentum early on in the game.
Especially Salamence, if he really feels a Thunder Wave, he's pretty much forced to protect because nothing on Yangze's team other than his own Groudon, which is already on the field, can switch into the Thunder Wave. So, and it's about to see whether either of the Salamence carry Draco Meteor, which has become increasingly rarer as the season wore on.
The players definitely gravitating towards the Tailwind option, giving you a late game sweep with your Groudon, or giving your own Xerneas that little edge against opposing Xerneas as well.
Yes, so Aqil's Thundurus kind of pigeonholed into going for the Salamence slot, so Yangze should be able to use that to his advantage.
But at the same time, I think the lead definitely favors Aqil. He does have the presence, the offensive presence with both with the Salamence, which is free to get off damage on the Groudon here.
Yes, especially since Groudon not likely to have anything to threaten the Salamence in return. So Salamence on Aqil's side really only fearing an attack from Yangze's on Salamence.
Yangze really taking his time on his first turn here. That
is a timer warning.
And he probably will be receiving a timer warning for taking that long, but he does finally make a move, and Salamence is both Salamence staying in for Aqil and gonna Mega Evolve.
Yangze might not Mega his own if he's going for the Protect.
Exactly.
As
and
he does not Protect.
Goes for the
Yangze bring a Kangaskhan at the back as well. Hyper Voice comes out onto Salamence without the slight boost and gets as Fire Punch goes into the Thundurus with the Sun boost, not able to kill Aqil's bulky Thundurus.
Especially with that Intimidate fired off by the Salamence. A fantastic turn there for Aqil.
I think Yangtze ran out of time and forgot to Mega Evolve his Salamence.
That is a possibility, but then again, going for the tailwind there wouldn't really have affected whether he Mega Evolved or not.
That's true, but it does affect the speed on this turn.
I don't think he was expecting Aqil to go straight for the taunt onto his Salamence, because usually the Thunderous tries to go for the Thunder Wave instead. So Aqil really making a brilliant read there, going for the taunt and denying the early Thunder Wave.
Yeah, definitely showing prior knowledge of Yangtze's team, not fearing a Draco Meteor and expecting the Tailwind to come out. So, I'm pretty sure it's a pretty safe bet that Yangtze was going back and forth within his moves and then realized he was on the timer, made his move without having pressed the Mega Evolution button.
Finally, this one though is going to make all the Salamence, but with the speed, the speed disadvantage against Aqil, so Aqil is going to get that Hyper Voice off
which might
first.
get a KO on Salamence, which he might not have gotten if he had Mega Evolve in the first place.
Well, Salamence's special defense doesn't change. Oh, I guess you can talk about speed ties, yes, but Fire Punch here is going to KO the Thunderous, so no more taunt and Thunder Wave shenanigans from Yangtze's side, from Aqil's side of the field, but at what cost? His Groudon is in the red. Salamence at full health here. The question now is Yangtze, does he bring in the Xerneas or the Ditto, as he does bring in the Xerneas? We probably will see a Xerneas from the other side of the field come in as well, but no, it is the Groudon.
It's going to be the Groudon for Aqil.
So Aqil probably saving his Xerneas after he's done some critical damage onto Yangtze's Xerneas first, showing some great foresight going into the endgame.
Aqil's Salamence still the fastest thing on the field, with no Tailwind on Yangtze's side of the field. And Groudon pretty much on the last legs, forced to protect unless he wants to preserve it for a future turn. I
think at this point Groudon is trying to preserve Groudon as a lost cause. I think maybe protecting Xerneas, letting Groudon go down and getting your free switch into whatever you have in the back, whether it be the Ditto, the Clefairy, the Kangaskhan.
Unlikely to be the Kangaskhan.
Unlikely to be the Kangaskhan at this point, sorry. But the Ditto or the Clefairy, both could be very interesting options for Yangtze to bring in at this point. So I think Yangtze definitely on the back foot, but can still make some plays here. As Groudon goes for the protect instead, maybe trying to play around the prediction here.
Hyper Voice comes out, not going to do that much to the very bulky Xerneas, who will eat the Precipice Blades as well. Not going to be a KO. Yangtze having a very bulky Xerneas, but taking a lot of damage on the Jet setup turn.
Gets the Geomancy up, and that is the benefit of running bulky Xerneas, really. Taking both the Hyper Voice and the Precipice Blades from the Groudon.
Aqil somewhat hedging his bets there, when the option there might have been to just double target the Xerneas, but as you pointed out, the play you expect Yangtze to go for would be to protect his Xerneas.
Maybe trying to get a KO on the switch. Well, then again, like Hyper Voice KOs the Groudon anyways, so a bit strange to see Aqil not go for the Fire Punch play there onto the Xerneas.
Definitely trying to cover as many options as possible, but perhaps not the optimal play he could have made.
Now Xerneas is pretty much free to pick off the Salamence, and Groudon can start playing speed ties with the opposing Groudon.
If it is
a speed tie. Yes. We do know that Yangtze's is most likely is the max speed, and does carry the Earth Power as well. So a Dazzling Gleam plus Earth Power here should pick the knockout on this Groudon.
As Crest will come in into the Dazzling Gleam, is going to do 30 to 40%. Ooh, a big hit there.
Big hit there as Groudon gets off the Precipice Blades. Doesn't connect on the Groudon. Yes, it does. And we'll get the KO. Yangtze, once again, they're trying to cover as many plays as possible. But although, with maybe predicting the opposing Xerneas in the back, but doesn't get KO.
Precipice Blades won't get the KO by Mr. Xerneas.
And that is huge. Unfortunate there. What a bulky Groudon, though.
Yes, definitely no speed tie there. Aqil going for bulk on his Groudon.
I'm sure if Yangtze is running the timid Groudon with Precipice Blade, it still does.
I think we are confusing Yangtze's Groudon with someone else's Groudon.
But
we've seen both Precipice Blades and Fire Punch already. I believe he's one of his opponents who was playing the special Groudon yesterday.
Yes.
So Ditto will hit the field, and Yangtze now will be able to see exactly what Aqil's Groudon set is.
A jolly Precipice Blades. Oh, the Groudon was intimidated, that's why.
Yes.
But Ditto in now.
And Xerneas is still at +2. It's still going to be able to clear the field with Dazzling Gleam, having done so much damage to Cresselia.
I'm shocked that Cresselia takes over 50% from Dazzling Gleam, and not showing the Citrus Berry. Also very important information for Yanza taking into the future games.
As Dazzling Gleam will come out and should pick up 2 KOs. As it does. And Aqil left with only Salamence against the +2 Xerneas. We are moving to a game 2 of Yangtze.
I mean, obviously you have to feel hard done by for Aqil. They're missing that crucial Precipice Blades, which would have probably locked up the game for him on the Xerneas. But, you know, that's Pokemon.
It is Pokemon. Because Aqil, Yangtze would have been forced to bring in the Ditto into the Groudon most likely, and Aqil did have the Salamence at the back. Unfortunately, now Salamence, instead of facing a transformed Groudon, it is going to be facing the +2 Xerneas, who will pick up the KO.
Yangtze cleverly going for the Dazzling Gleam. They're not wanting to reveal his final move in case Aqil does not know that his final move is, you know, Moonblast or
Hidden Power Ground.
But yeah, well done to Yangtze taking game 1, but Aqil definitely shouldn't feel too disheartened from that game. Very well played by Aqil, showing why he's finally finding his foot and in the top cut here. If he plays the same way, he should be taking game 2, so it's up to Yangtze now to actually adjust in order to steal up this set, actually.
Well, right now I'm really curious about what kind of Cresselia Aqil is running. I've never seen a Cresselia take that much damage from a Dazzling Gleam. I'm used to Moonblast doing that kind of damage, not Dazzling Gleam.
I know there's certain players like Poke-Alex, Alejandro Gomez, of course, running a Cresselia with enough speed to outspeed his own Groudon because he wasn't running the Trick Room option on his Groudon.
But then, again, that is
on the Cresselia. So, running enough speed on the Cresselia so that you can Skill Swap onto your own Groudon before your opponent moves. But, you know, that does sacrifice a lot of bulk.
As we did see there, Yangtze, I believe, leaving both the Clefairy and the Kangaskhan at the back this time.
I think definitely Mence is the better Mega here to bring for Yangtze. He does need to start pressuring his opponent's Groudon early on as well, especially now that he sees how bulky the opponent's Groudon is. Every bit of chip damage counts.
Aqil didn't opt to bring the Smeargle, and after seeing how Cresselia did, I think the temptation for Aqil is to try out the Smeargle in this game. Because the Cresselia really came out and just didn't do anything. Or maybe Cresselia could come out earlier, but again, Yangtze does not show the inclination to start Xerneas as early as possible, which means Cresselia probably not as useful in the early game.
I think Aqil's game plan here has to be able to take out his opponent's Xerneas first, and then play for Cresselia endgame, because that is the only way his Cresselia can put in really a lot of work in this matchup.
Alright, so we're about to find out what both players have in store. We are going to game 2 of this top 8 set of Singapore's National Championships.
I would be surprised to see no changes in the leads. I think Yangtze definitely needs to switch something up.
Oh, but this is a change. Oh, not going to be a change for
Salamence
Aqil.
Thunderous lead, and we do see this change up from Yangtze, bringing the Kangaskhan this time and the Xerneas.
Yeah, Yangtze trying to force the Geomancy up as soon as possible. In the face of the Thunderous though, who has shoulder taunt. As Mence will get the Intimidate off onto the Kangaskhan,
ensuring that Thunderous will survive through that double edge, barring a critical hit.
Though Yangtze does have the option of just going for the double target into the Thunderous, predicting the taunt.
Thunderous has a few options here though, because I think if you want to, with a physical Groudon as well as a Mence double edge, the better play is to just let the Geomancy go up, but get the Thunder Wave off and then pin the Xerneas down with your physical type attacks. Kangaskhan here in a bad position if it doesn't have the power-up punch. But if it does have the power-up punch, the threat of the double boost is definitely real on the board right now.
But the fake out is live for Yangtze, so he might be able to free up the Geomancy and keep Xerneas away from Thunder Wave for at least one turn. And the bulky Xerneas, I believe, is not going to be taking more than around 50 to 55% from double edge. Right, no switches coming out from both sides, and Mence will go Mega.
Probably expect Kangaskhan to go Mega as well. No reason to stay in non-Mega form, as there are no ghosts nor any faster fake outs on the field, as we see this Mega Evolution animation that has plagued the metagame for the last 3 years. Kangaskhan hit the infield, going to go for the fake out on the Thunderous.
Onto the Thunderous. Not wanting to deal with Thunder Wave or Taunt for the turn. Though he will have to eat the double edge coming out from Salamence this turn.
Double edge going to go in, probably into the Xerneas is the better play here. Going to deal around just over 50%,
yep.
As the Geomancy should be going up here right now. The question is now, the Protect on the Xerneas is so obvious. Do you go after the Kangaskhan, or I mean, obviously a play here is to go to double dodge into the Kangaskhan and Thunder Wave into the Xerneas. But Xerneas could just go straight for the Dazzling Gleam and pick up 2 free knockouts, which could swing momentum enough into Yangtze's favor that even with the Thunder Wave, he can close out the game.
And because Yangtze is staring at a -1 Kangaskhan, he is pressured to go for the attack with the Xerneas, since it will punish him much harder than anything his Kangaskhan could do on his own. And we see Yangtze has really locked in his moves. He really has only one. Well, I suppose he actually had the harder decision to make, but seems to have made it pretty quickly.
The decision here is to protect the Xerneas or to just go for the Dazzling Gleam. But I think in this case, considering what Aqil may have the back with the Cresselia and the Smeargle, it might be better to just go for the Dazzling Gleam straight away. You do see the Kangaskhan coming out, Clefairy coming in. This is interesting.
Now he does go for a protect, but now Clefairy will be able to redirect Thunder Waves coming out from the
unless
stun.
Aqil reads this and goes straight for the taunt onto Clefairy.
Oh,
Thunder Wave though, so
Yangtze
Yangtze makes the read, gets his Clefairy in safely, and will get the free Follow Me Dazzling Gleam the following turn. And Aqil has Burner's Protect on his Salamence as well.
Yes, Yangtze's looking at a very simple double KO this turn, and Aqil, barring a double protect on the Salamence, has really nothing he can do to stop it.
Even then, the threat on the field is right now is the Thunderous, and that is what has to go down. And there's no way Aqil is going to be able to protect it this turn. If he goes for a protect, Xerneas is just getting off free damage, and Clefairy remains untaunted. Switching in Groudon there, also a really strange play. He's going to take free damage on Dazzling Gleam, putting himself into Moonblast KO range the following turn as well.
Yeah, Aqil kind of overreacting to the threat of the Xerneas. He's kind of burning his own Xerneas counters.
So Follow Me is the play to come out here. Probably a taunt going to come out from the Thunders before Xerneas gets a chance to move.
Yep.
Making sure that Clefairy won't be sticking around to abuse his Friend Guard ability for Xerneas anymore.
Dazzling will come off, should KO the Thunderous at +2, as it does, and as pointed out, will bring Groudon into Moonblast KO range.
I mean, here Yangtze is such a safe play to make. He protects Xerneas, switches out Clefairy into Kangaskhan. If Kangaskhan doesn't get KO'd, oh, but we do see the Xerneas
all of a sudden,
out.
Xerneas cannot afford to protect this time.
Yes. It'd be interesting to see if Clefairy does carry an attacking move in this game. If it doesn't, it's basically forced to switch out.
We've seen most of Yangtze's set already, and as pointed out, he might want after you for the trivial matchup, in which case he will not carry an attack. And even if he did carry attack, like maybe the IC win, I don't see it doing that much in this current situation.
So definitely going to see a switch out here from Yangtze, and he has to think about how he's going to capitalize on this return that Aqil has kind of made for himself. Moonblast coming out though, going to go straight out to the opposing Xerneas. HP dropping all the way down, gets barely
special attack
misses out on
drop.
the KO.
And Fire Punch will come out into the Xerneas, will pick up the KO even through the Friend Guard.
But is Clefairy going to struggle?
And will it hit the Xerneas with the struggle?
Or maybe just has that
IC win
as well, which will get the KO on the Xerneas at this point. It has to get the KO.
He has to get the KO at this point.
What does Clefairy do? What is Clefairy going to do?
Is it Clefairy struggle about to turn this set? Clefairy has no moves, no struggle.
Who does he target down? Go for the Xerneas! Xerneas goes down to the Clefairy with his last struggle. Gets the Xerneas. What a clutch play from Yangtze here.
Yes, Aqil really has to hold his hands up and accept that, because there's really a 50% chance to hit. Yangtze actually staying in for the struggle, and it paid off beautifully.
Yangtze thinking that that was his only play to make, and fortunately for him, it pays off, and this is huge now. Transforms into the opposing Salamence to pin down Aqil's Groudon, and Yangtze is looking in such a commanding position here.
Ditto though, having that much lower base HP to begin with, and it was probably banking on winning a speed tie with opposing Salamence, though I don't think a double actually going to KO is Ditto.
Especially with the Friend Guard ability still
with
active
Friend Guard as well,
on the board right now. No reason for Yangtze to switch out here. He's shown that the Clefairy is smart enough to struggle and hit the right target, so why not give it a second chance? Oh, but he does switch it out. Clefairy has done his job in this game.
Struggle is over for now, as Kangaskhan will come back in. Will Yangtze protect that Salamence? Ditto, rather. Yep, Ditto will go for the protect. And
play there, getting
trying to
tank
burn
assigned.
Aqil's protect as well.
Really. But double edge
double edge
goes into
comes out.
protect. And Rock Slide comes out, showing his final move on the Groudon set there. But great positioning by Yangtze here. Getting the Kangaskhan in for free, then threatening the fake out and the Hyper Voice this turn.
Yes. Less of a threat of the speed time not going to matter as much this turn. With Aqil kind of pressured to go for a double protect to burn that fake out. Which in turn would give Yangtze another chance to bring the Clefairy back in.
And that could be deadly.
Clefairy itself has proved plenty deadly enough. I'm not even sure on Battle Spot if you look on the statistics, you get many Clefairy has KO'd. Pokemon that Clefairy has KO'd.
With struggle of all moves.
No protect coming out from Aqil, so he will eat the fake out, and the speed tie not gonna matter. He did win the speed tie, unfortunately. Will flinch, eats the Hyper Voice, will hang on though, and Rock Slide won't miss. Yangtze's did though.
I mean, at that point, I think a bit irrelevant. Even a critical hit won't put the Ditto
And
into any range of attack.
And Aqil in Sucker Punch range.
Exactly. So Yangtze there pretty much locking up the game. Definitely Clefairy putting in the work there, bailing him out. But Yangtze moves on to top 4.
Yangtze does move on to top 4. Courtesy of Clefairy, killing a +2 boosted Xerneas.
Sucker Punch is going to come out, targeting down the Salamence, picking off the Salamence, setting up the field for Ditto to get off a Hyper Voice and bring Yangtze all the way into the top 4.
Right, Yangtze moving on very commandingly, though Aqil really been wondering what could have been. The chances were there, but unfortunately, Clefairy just proved too deadly.
I mean, of course, Aqil really shouldn't feel bad about his 2 games losses there. First game, he lost to
Precipice
Blaze Miss. Second game, lost to a Clefairy who was smart enough to target down a 1 HP Xerneas there. I mean, there's really nothing more you can ask for. He definitely played the game as best as he could, and sometimes the rules just don't go your way. Unfortunately for Aqil, that's the end of the run for him, but definitely a strong showing here and a player to watch out for at the World Championships. Yangtze, though, moving on to the top 4, and we will be seeing him shortly on stream for the winner's interview.
Yes, undoubtedly. It should be pointed out though that in Yangtze's defense, even if the struggle had gone off onto the wrong target, he still had the option to bring in his Ditto onto that Xerneas slot to copy the boost.
Of course.
So we'll still be playing again, although red card wouldn't matter red card would still matter since Aqil still had a Pokemon at the back.
And it would matter. It would matter because Xerneas would be the fastest thing on the field and would be forced to attack the Ditto first.
Yes.
Because if he doesn't attack it,
and
then +2 Moonblast would just one shot.
+1. Remember the Moonblast.
Oh right, +1 Moonblast may not be enough then to KO that KO the Groudon there.
Yeah.
But you know, Aqil will really just wonder what could have been, and Yangtze will be wondering what will be to come for him in the top 4 match.
I believe he's going to go up against the third and 6th seed.
Kenny.
Which is
no, I think he's. If we can.
No, the Kenny is going against Derek. So Yangtze will be going up against Stefan Tan from Malaysia.
Of course, we did see the bracket early on, and that should be a very exciting game as well. Dual Primals versus, Groudon Xerneas with the Clefairy.
All right, so as pointed out, Yangtze will be coming on shortly for winner's interview, so we will be right back.
And welcome back. We're joined on stream with Yangtze after a tough struggle through that game too.
Very funny.
At that point in time, you knew that Xerneas definitely was going to go for the Geomancy. Did you know that your Moonblast was going to get the KO?
No, I really expected it to KO the opposing Xerneas because I've never actually ran into a Xerneas that's bulky enough to take a +2 Moonblast from mine. And I just wanted to keep Clefairy in so that in case he went for Precipice Blades, it would have a chance to not KO because of Frank Guard. But as it turns out, the struggle did go into the correct target, and I'm so sorry.
Well, definitely Aqil. I mean, both games, late luck rolls in your favor. First Precipice Blaze Miss, and then the struggle as well. But how did you feel about the matchup going into Big 6 with the Cresselia? I know, that tends to be a kind of a difficult matchup if you don't have the Clefairy, which we saw put in a lot of work as well.
Big 6 is actually a matchup that I've prepared a lot for, and often I just bring the Xerneas Clefairy because that's like an easy thing to do. But then I realized that Xerneas Clefairy doesn't actually have a lot of answers against an opposing Kangaskhan Smeargle lead, or Smeargle lead at all, because you can only attack it with Xerneas, so you can't actually KO it first turn, and it's free to just get a Dark Void off, and then I'm in trouble after that.
Of course. The late game Smeargle obviously also very scary, especially if you're trying to play for a late game Clefairy.
Yeah, so like early game Smeargle is really scary, late game Smeargle is really scary, and like the less said about mid game Smeargle the better, yeah.
So, Ditto once again putting in quite a bit of work.
Ditto is funny, like it's really cute, and yeah.
I mean, you talked about yesterday about how Ditto is really good for practicing positional play because you have to switch it into the correct slot.
Yeah.
How far ahead do you really have to plan, especially you know, in terms of your Pokemon currently on the field? Like, what if the slot that's in front of the Xerneas isn't the thing you want to switch into? You know,
so I actually have to play an additional mind game at like team preview. So I need to figure out if the guy's gonna click Smeargle first or if he's gonna click Xerneas first. Then I can lead Groudon and Mence accordingly.
So even in team preview, you have to guess.
Yeah, so even in team preview, I have to guess. So like on Pokemon Showdown, it's a lot easier because you can just see which is first in the lineup, and they'll probably click from left to right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but in the DS it's like grids, so like it really sucks. Yeah.
But obviously you practice with this team enough. You seem to get it right every single time so far.
I think I've just been lucky so far. I didn't really have that much practice. I only had like 100 games on Showdown. And what was I going to say? I forgot. Oh yeah. I feel like Ditto has really positively impacted my play because last year or even at the start of this year, I would just be like, you know, just go for the Precipice Blades, go for the Origin Pulse, go for the Return, just like do damage. Whereas now I actually have to think 2 or 3 turns ahead. So I think that's actually been really beneficial. Yeah.
I think in addition to playing Ditto, I think just playing Groudon and Xerneas as well. Yeah. Planning for the end game with the Xerneas is so important. Yeah. Maneuvering yourself into a position where you either have Clefairy Xerneas, Ditto Xerneas, or Salamence Xerneas, or Groudon Xerneas on the field really requires people to plan a few turns ahead. You can't just play turn by turn.
Yeah, I've learned a lot about win conditions this year. So even though VGC16 might not be the best format, at least it's been a learning experience.
I completely agree with you. I mean, being someone who's piloted Groudon Xerneas myself, I've really experienced that. And well, going ahead, I think you will be facing Steven Tan in the top 4. Both of you should be putting in a good shift there.
Hopefully.
So I look forward to seeing that game as well.
I look forward to seeing it too.
Thank you very much for the game, and good luck going forward.